I often tell my friend and famous divorce lawyer, Christopher Melcher, when he wants to go on a tirade. Angelina Jolie's father, Brad Pitt, has been accused of being involved in a cover-up by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. Pitt filed a lawsuit against the FBI following the conclusion of their investigation, claiming that they had taken her side and were not pursuing her. Since then, she has refuted any charges of impropriety and has defended herself by asserting that the allegations were something of a cover-up. Recent events, on the other hand, indicate that several of the children, especially Vivon, provide their support to Brad and express a desire to have a relationship with him. Vivon, one of Angelina's daughters, has voiced her wish to move in with Brad, despite the litigation that has been presented against them. With this information, doubts are raised regarding Angelina's public battles, as well as the children's decision to live a life with him. Pitt has been silent and has not issued any statements, despite the turmoil that has been going on. Additionally, he has consented to supervise visitation privileges with his children. But this has not been sufficient. It is essential to keep in mind that the children are still choosing to live a life with Brad, despite the fact that Angelina has been accused of playing the role of a victim. Angelina has a vast public relations apparatus and a significant number of customers. Pitt doesn't seem to be effectively defending himself against Angelina's ongoing attacks, especially concerning allegations of abuse, while trying to move forward for the sake of their children. Despite previous legal battles over custody and their winery, new accusations of historical abuse have surfaced, complicating matters further. The custody dispute initially began in 2016, when Angelina accused Pitt of being abusive towards her and one or more of their children on an aeroplane in Los Angeles. This incident sparked a lengthy legal battle involving custody and domestic violence allegations, which has persisted over the years. The conflict escalated when Pitt attempted to buy out Angelina's share of their winery, only to discover that she had sold it to a Russian oligarch, causing legal disputes over ownership and contractual rights. The sale to a competitor raised questions of vengefulness and legal complexities, leading to Brad suing Angelina for breach of contract. Amidst these legal proceedings, a new controversy arose over Pitt allegedly demanding that Angelina sign a non-disclosure agreement prohibiting her from publicly discussing his purported physical and emotional abuse towards her and their children. During the previous week, I witnessed these charges making a comeback. Everyone is aware of the incident that occurred on the plane, but she is now claiming that there was more. If you are willing to stay with me since things are about to get a little bit more confusing, here's what is going on. Brad makes the offer to Angelina, saying, "Hey, I want to buy your half." It would appear that she accepted my offer, or at the very least, he believed that she did. "You know, this is my offer," he said. Following that, he then proposes several common terminologies, such as these. A non-disparagement clause, NDA, was added to the deal which stated, "Hey, we're not going to talk bad about each other, here is the contract." That is a frequently used word. She declined the offer and sold it to the other individual, but when this occurred, this is going back several years, she did not disclose the non-disclosure agreement, NDA, that he had suggested as the reason she declined his offer. Instead, she responded by saying, "Look, I got an offer from him, but I didn't like it, and I decided to sell to somebody else that was within my rights." At the time, she never indicated that the reason she opted to sell to the other person was because he intended to quiet her. She continued to keep this fact to herself. She is now stating that she is rejecting his offer because he had recommended a common condition in the agreement to sell the winery. This rationale is the excuse she is using. In light of the fact that there is a dispute in this civil matter regarding the ownership of the winery, she has decided to take this step. Evil in this woman. This woman is determined to destroy me and isn't backing down. Now Angelina is bringing up abuse allegations from before the 2016 plane incident, suggesting that Pitt's attempt to silence her through a non-disclosure agreement was a factor in her decision to reject his offer to buy out her share of the winery. However, there's no logical connection between these historical abuse allegations and the business transaction involving the winery. By introducing these new allegations, which were never previously raised during the custody dispute when they would have been most relevant, Angelina appears to be using them as a pretext to undermine Pitt's position in the legal proceedings. This tactic, known as moving the goalposts, involves introducing irrelevant information to attack someone. Angelina's actions seem aimed at prolonging the conflict and stretching out the legal battle. Pitt's team, which initially aimed to take the high road by not engaging or reacting, is now likely realizing the necessity of addressing these new allegations seriously to protect Pitt's interests. The situation remains complex and contentious, with Angelina's recent actions adding further complications to an already protracted legal dispute. Now is the moment to move forward. He is even going so far as to imply, according to insiders, that she is using this to her advantage in the vineyard. It seems like you're still harboring anger from the divorce, or maybe you see this as a business move with the vine. Either way, it's clear that she's acting spitefully. It seems to me that Angelina is dealing with deep personal issues, and it's difficult to criticize her considering that. However, it's perplexing why she continues to bring up old allegations from before 2016 in the context of a legal dispute over the sale of the winery. These historical claims are irrelevant to the matter at hand. Jolie-Pitt rightly pointed out her hypocrisy in objecting to a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, when she herself had proposed similar terms in the past. This inconsistency raises questions about the motivations behind her recent actions. Moreover, Angelina's statements seem contradictory. She claims not to have wanted Brad charged in relation to the plane incident, and preferred him to take responsibility and help the family recover from the trauma. However, it was revealed that she was actually the one who initiated legal action by suing the FBI, which investigated the incident. This level of hypocrisy undermines the credibility of her current assertions. Analyzing Angelina's claims, it appears that her inconsistent statements and actions are a result of unresolved personal issues. This inconsistency is what poses a significant challenge and concern in the ongoing legal disputes between her and Brad Pitt. I hope he takes the next step. The U.S. Attorney's Office declined to press criminal charges against Angelina Jolie's father. Brad Pitt has been accused of being involved in a cover-up by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. Pitt filed a lawsuit against the FBI following the conclusion of their investigation, claiming that they had taken her side and were not pursuing her. Since then, she has refuted any charges of impropriety and has defended herself by asserting that the allegations were something of a cover-up. Recent events, on the other hand, indicate that several of the children, especially Vivan, provide their support to Brad and express a desire to have a relationship with him. Vivan, one of Angelina's daughters, has voiced her wish to move in with Brad, despite the litigation that has been presented against them. With this information, doubts are raised regarding Angelina's public battles, as well as the children's decision to live a life with him. Pitt has been silent and has not issued any statements, despite the turmoil that has been going on. Additionally, he has consented to supervise visitation privileges with his child. But this has not been sufficient. It is essential to keep in mind that the children are still choosing to live a life with Brad, despite the fact that Angelina has been accused of playing the role of a victim. Angelina has a vast public relations apparatus and a significant number of customers. Over the course of my career as a divorce attorney, I have represented a number of famous people who have made the decision to remain silent regarding allegations of abuse. There are a number of ways to obtain a source quote, including authorized leaks and legal action requests. Nevertheless, it is essential to exercise caution when vetting sources, in order to avoid including material that is not supported by evidence. One other illustration of this is the press statement that Angelina Jolie submitted in the course of a legal proceeding. This press release was utilized to make headlines about Brad Pitt being an abusive person. This press release was sent to the court in order to garner attention regarding Brad Pitt's reputation as an abusive individual. It can be extremely difficult to reconcile claims made by one person and those made by another woman when dealing with children. My goal as a lawyer is to provide the best possible service to families while also being honest. For the purpose of avoiding misconceptions, it is essential to conduct a thorough analysis of the headlines and the court documents. There are some individuals who may not be able to let go of their behaviors from the past, even if something occurred 8 years ago. First and foremost, it is essential to put the requirements of children ahead of one's own personal interests. Regarding this issue, I am in agreement with Brad, and I am listening to Christopher's research. I hope the kids are doing okay and can move on from this sad story. You can follow Christopher at KOR Divorce and leave your thoughts in the comments section.